Welcome back into the workshop for another update. An update that has got me pretty much set up ready to drill the holes. The ones that I have marked and circled in this top. The one thing I had forgotten when I did this last was I can't get it all the holes in one go when the saw itself gets in the way. So I couldn't drill the holes that were directly underneath this or up close to the blade. The drill that I've got just wouldn't fit. It's not a big one, and I could have put in I couldn't have put it in another chuck actually because it needs a chuck. I can't put a 90 degree. Oh yes, I've got one of those as well. It's amazing what you've got when you've already can't use it. Hang on, did that make sense? No, I've actually got a 90 degree drill but with a chuck on it. A friend gave it to me and I forgot about it. The other one's the 90 degree one. It's one of the Milwaukee 90 degree, but it's got the 1/4 inch hex drive in it, so not good for what I want. Anyway, we've got probably 35 or 30 holes, something like that, ready to drill. And I had to go put the extension table on my drill press. A bit of a fiddle, I've got to say, but once I've got it back in place, I had to cut. Just shows you, I haven't used it since I adjusted the height of the bed, and since I've put the small accessory table on. And it was putting that accessory table on that allowed me to true up the actual steel bed, the table that came with the saw, with the drill. It was only ever so slightly out, and I'd been using this drill for donkey's years. I knew it was out. I knew, and I'd forgotten. But anyway, I actually was able to now true up the base so that I can now put the extension table on. And why am I making this video? Well, I wanted to see how many photons we're getting through between the square and the pin that I use for alignment. And the answer is none. I can't discern any photons. There might be a 1.5 photon. No, not really. No, I'm leaning on it, that's why. In other words, don't lean on it. Perfectly square in all directions. Wonder how many things that I've drilled that have had a little bit of a glitch, and I couldn't understand why. May have come about because of misalignment. That is absolutely as close as I think I can ever get with that drill. No you know what I mean about photons. Ditto on this. The saw, it's not the saw's issue, it was actually me creating the pads, and whatever issue I had with that, well, we're trying to mitigate that, and those tiny little issues that are not a problem under most circumstances, you've still got to get rid of, because there will be circumstances that crop up that do create the, like the problem would be revealed. So let's do that. I want to use this for creating a couple of, in the construction of the projects that I've got coming up, I want to be able to use this, and I want to be able to use it in a way that I can, with confidence, say, hey, look at this. And there was one guy that I watch a lot of, Captain Kleeman, Mike, and he's great. He's a really, just a nice personality. And he was saying, about his mechanical skills and welding skills and what have you. And I'm going, oh, mate, I can relate to this. He says, if you come here to, like a how-to, he says, you're in the wrong channel. You're at the wrong channel. It's just me wanting to have something mechanical done, and I don't want to pay, or haven't got the money to pay for the mechanic, so I'm going to do it myself. This is kind of like what we're doing here. I'm doing this MFT top. Nothing unusual. A lot of people around the world have made MFT tops, but I want to be able to do a bit of crowing when, if you know what that means, and when we go to start doing some of the items in the future that I've got planned. And one of the ones was with the geodesic dome. I want to get very accurate angles that are beyond the capability of the saw itself. But in combination with a jig, not specifically this one, but definitely with this one, I'll be able to get angle cuts to very precise tenth of a degree or even hundredths of a degree, because I've got a digital, angle finder. But I can dial it in with the accessory top down past the capability of the saw. I've seen other jigs achieve or created to achieve a similar outcome, but this, never seen one like this before. So that they're out there, I do apologise for those that have also done this before me, but with the MFT style of top, the Sketchy Builder top or the pad, with the adjustability of these sorts of things so that I can dial in past what the capability of the saw right down to 0 degrees. I don't think I've seen that. You might have in the old woodworking machine, things where woodworking magazines and what have you. There's so many jigs made up that we can't track them all. It's been a long time since I've read any of those magazines or seen any videos made of them. But a lot of them are to do with table saws. And this is not a table saw. So if we take some of the item or the ideas from there and apply them in here, well, why not? Can't say I've seen this one, but I could well imagine that this sort of setup has been used at some stage, possibly quite often, in a scenario on the saw, on the table saw. So yeah, I'm not trying to claim fame, but like Mike, he's not trying to say he's the inventor of something, or he may well be, but because you'll get the, as my friend calls them, the anorak wearers going, oh no, in 1954, well, they did. Well, that was even before I was born, so that's a long time ago. But let's make it here. If it's of benefit for me, may well be benefit to other people. That's all. Yeah. And with that, that's all. I'm going to go inside, light the fire. It's getting a bit chilly tonight, -2 or something. And out here tomorrow. I've still got to clamp this down, I think would be wise. Clamp it down, get it all ready to go. Up there, drill some holes, and then start developing the series of holes out each way. I'm going to really, really try and limit the number of holes I've got. Whether I succeed or not, I don't know. But the one thing that I'm going to have anyway is a set of holes. The first row in will be at 25mm spacings to allow the use of, reaching over, stop like this to be used in 25mm increments. Before it was 50mm increments, and that worked really, really well. But 25 will be just nicer. It'll limit the amount of rotations I need to make with the pin. So yeah, just on that subject, on this item, we actually had this dialed in previously, and we got it down. We, as in me and future Dave, we got that. I got that dialed in to within about 3/100ths of a millimeter. Just saying, I was quite impressed. And the reason, not the reason, but the ability to then be able to move it across in 25mm, hopefully very, very accurate increments, we can retain that fidelity. That's what that mark is there. Once we've got this set to the fidelity that we want, what I'm going to do is not mark it, but I'm going to put a flat on the surface, and that'll tell me that when this pin is orientated to that position with the flat on top, it's at a full 1mm position. So, because that's a 6 by 1mm thread on this, one full revolution is 1mm, one way or the other, in and out. So one revolution is X millimeter. It's, it's a rational number. It's not a fraction of it. So as we come back 25 mils, it keeps that fidelity. I change it for whatever reason. I don't know what the exact amount will be, the measurement will be, but I know by turning that flat to the top, I've got that round figure again, make the cut, make the measurement, and go from there. Do you need that fidelity? No. Do you benefit from it in some way? Yeah. You have confidence in whatever cut you decide that you're going to have. Yeah, anyway. You will see. Okay, that's it. Inside, light the fire, keep warm, and out tomorrow and do what I said I was going to do. Righty, see you later now. Bye.